it is your responsibility to resolve it.
Especially for someone who's gone through abuse, they need to be
Mhm.
able to say, okay, maybe I've been manhandled. How does nervous system dysregulation affect digestion, sleep, or hormonal balance?
I mean, it's all related. You know, you imagine when you're being chased by a tiger, your body goes into fight or flight. Your nervous system is in dysregulation. So your hormones start to move from building and replenishing and digesting and building for future projects. It goes in, those future projects goes into shutdown mode and it becomes crisis and survival. So digesting your food does not become a priority when a tiger is chasing you. Sleeping does not feel safe when a tiger is chasing after you. And so the interesting part, and hormones, you start to go into adrenaline, which then alters your insulin, which then fat storage, we go into fat storage. And so the interesting part about it is whether there's a tiger chasing after you or there's the fear of the tiger attack coming, your body then reacts the same.
So everything boils down to the thought you have about
Everything
impending
boils
danger.
everything boils down to the sense of safety that you feel in your body, because
Yeah.
that's going to inform the thoughts that you have. So when people say, oh, we just need to change our thoughts, the nervous system, if it feels unsafe, it's going to drive my attention up here because it feels so uncomfortable, whether I'm feeling guilt, I'm feeling shame, I'm feeling whatever. I'm going to bring my attention up here and try to think my way out of a feeling problem. That's not going to work. It's all about how safe I feel in my nervous system.
Thank you. How do you help clients understand that their physical symptoms may be connected to emotional patterns without blaming them?
I keep mentioning again and again that none of this is your fault. So we actually use the word, we actually ceremoniously remove the word blame and fault out of the vocabulary. We just remove those words because it's about you don't know what you don't know. However, because at one point we think, oh, I'm a victim to this disease. I'm a victim to this partner. I'm a victim to that abusive person. This isn't about, fault or blame. This is about helping us see that we have these unconscious complexes that we're trying to act out or trying to work through no fault of our own, but we are responsible. So I like to use an analogy is that if you're on a bus, you're riding on a bus and the bus gets into an accident and then you fall down and you twist your knee. Now, your knee being twisted is not your fault. However, it is your responsibility to resolve it. So that's a really great analogy that I use because, we live in a culture shaming and guilting, and we love to guilt and shame ourselves to try to take control. And so when I tell people, hey, this is not your fault, but it is your responsibility, people who are stuck in a victim kind of mindset look at responsibility as, oh, you're blaming victims, you're blaming me. It's no. This is not what it's about. It's about it happened. It wasn't your fault. And let's start to get curious about the unconscious dynamics that were at play that made you the perfect person for that situation. When people realize this, it's very liberating to realize they never stood a chance given their upbringing, their conditioning, their fawning, their self-abandonment. They were the perfect person to meet that person and now say, okay, it's time for me to shift an identity. I need to become a different person now, one who takes responsibility without blaming themselves. Mm-hmm.
Especially for someone who's gone through abuse, they need to be able to say, okay, this person, the predator, or will I say the
perpetrator.
The perpetrator. I don't want to use the word the predator because I was
the
looking at it
perpetrator.
from the sexual abuse stance.
Yeah.
But that's why
The perpetrator.
the perpetrator is the best word because it could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be.
Yeah.
They have they are able to sensitize that this person.
There was harm done.
I'm just building up the premise that maybe they see the young lady, oh, she's naive. This is somebody I can prey on. This is somebody I can abuse because the vulnerability, her persona, she's very innocent looking. She's very innocent, like childlike, and she's susceptible to.
She's boundaryless.
She has no clue.
She hasn't developed boundaries. So Yes, they can sense that. Exactly. Now, it's not her fault. And it's up to her now to go, all right, how do I make sure this doesn't happen? Oh, I'm going to start to learn how to trust my intuition, how to speak up, how to exert a boundary, how to spot that red flag and not work harder, but then flow my energy away, how to speak up for myself, how to defend myself, how to get physical. You know, one of my clients, she has a black belt in Taekwondo.
Wow.
It all happened after the, abuse happened. She felt threatened and she decided to take matters in her own hands. So her and her son, they have black belts in Taekwondo, right? So these are all not blaming her, but it's an opportunity to go, all right, I can grow from this. How do I grow? How do I refine who I am so that I can show up in reality with proper boundaries? And it's really about becoming elegantly boundaried.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a skill that nobody learns unless you have parents who really understand them. Or like if my son, when he says no, and then I punish him for saying no, which is what a lot of people do, I'm teaching him that his boundaries are not okay. So he's now become susceptible later on to having boundaries violated. But if I celebrate his boundaries, which I do, I say, hey, it's good. It's okay to say no. Okay, I'm going to respect that. I'm teaching him that his boundaries are valid and they can be expressed and that they are to be met with respect. So I'm training him to have a healthy sense of self. This is not about blaming. This is about acknowledging that I didn't grow up with a healthy sense of self and boundaries. And it's up to me and my responsibility without faulting and blaming anyone, because my parents didn't even know either. It's about me taking responsibility and becoming the leader.
And also learning how to be boundaried, putting healthy boundaries, how to safeguard yourself as a person or as an individual. Just like you said, one of your clients decided, okay, because I've been molested, maybe I've been manhandled, I'm going to go into martial arts and get my black belt. That's quite interesting. That's good. How can mindfulness help people notice their relational triggers before reacting?
Practice is by understanding what comes up. Like, for example, I'm working with this one couple, and anytime she expresses dissatisfaction in her experience, she just wants to be validated, he goes into shutdown. He goes into, oh, see, nothing I ever do is ever good enough. And now he goes into his little wound, and now she's fed up. And so how do you do that is now it's conscious. Now there's the pattern. There it is. Boom. Can we now notice where this is coming from, see the younger part of us that needs our attention, and then rehearse a different scenario, in which case when she is now in the future expressing any type of dissatisfaction, he then listens with curiosity by holding that little 8-year-old boy that feels like he's failing, and then listens to her and saying, okay, what I'm hearing you say is blank, and has her feel understood. And now it's about changing a step in that familiar dance. You have to first take on relationship as a spiritual practice. The way that you do it is you start it off with a new context. The new context is, I'm now married. This is how my relationship has worked. We're married, and this isn't a fantasy of you're gonna, give me everlasting unconditional love and I never have to feel insecure with you again. That's bullshit. What we got to do is say, okay, this container of this relationship is a spiritual practice where both of us are going to bring up each other's wounding, and we're going to take responsibility for the process of healing those wounds so that we can now use the relationship to repair. So we're going to practice. When things come up, we're going to set a new agreement where we're going to take ownership and responsibility and then reconnect.
Be safe and be positive. And don't forget to check out our social media handles. Thank you. Bye for now.